Hey friends, Major Scott here from the Major Reviews It. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the channel. And if you've been here before, welcome back. My first couple videos, I did a profile of my 2024 GMC Denali Ultimate. And we took it on the road, we took it inside and out, and really brought forth what an $86,000 luxury half-ton pickup brings to the table. But today we're going to kick it up a notch and we're going to change gears a little bit. And we're going to look at Ford's entry level into the luxury truck segment with the F-150 Platinum. But this isn't any ordinary Platinum. This Platinum is full of technology, it's super fast, and at $93,000, it's super expensive. But it's also the Motor Trend 2023 Truck of the Year. And I'm talking about the 2023 F-150 Lightning. Did Ford hit a home run or did they fall flat? Well, today we're going to find out. But before we do that, I want to give a huge shout out to my friends here at Walt Massey Ford in Columbia, Mississippi for inviting me up here to profile this truck. And standing next to me is my good friend Patrick West. So Patrick, talk to me a little bit about the Walt Massey buying experience and what can folks expect if they call you for their next vehicle?
Yeah, thanks, Scott. That's a great question. So with the recent pandemic, everything's changed the way that people do their car shopping
That's right.
experience. Nowadays, you don't even have to step foot into a showroom floor. Most everything's done online where I can take care of your vehicle, find the perfect vehicle that fits all of your needs.
So if I'm from Kansas per se, and I find a vehicle, I can call you up, talk to you, get the best price, and you can facilitate that vehicle showing up at my house without me even stepping foot in your dealership?
Absolutely, absolutely. We do it every single day. Matter of fact, we did our last Lightning. We delivered to Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is roughly about 1,100 miles from here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. Mississippi to Albuquerque, New Mexico. These guys, they can do it all. And let me tell you, from personal experience, I can say that they are a real class act here in Columbia, Mississippi, and they will take care of you. So if you're looking for a GMC, a Ford, a Ram, they pretty much have all the bases covered. I'm going to put Patrick's info in the comment section below. Give him a call, blow his phone up, and maybe you and Patrick can make a deal. But enough about that. We came today to talk about this, the F-150 Lightning. And like I said before, did Ford hit a home run or did they fall flat? Well, today we're going to find out. Let's go. When you first lay eyes on the F-150 Lightning, it's easy to tell that this is definitely an F-150, and Ford's engineers and designers didn't stray too far from the previous generations. And to be honest with you, why would they? The F-150's been the best-selling truck, and I think the best-selling vehicle for quite a few years now in the United States, so why change a good thing? But you will see on the front a daytime running light that stretches all the way across the front of the grille. And it goes to the other side. That's your first giveaway, and it actually looks pretty cool at night. The second giveaway that you'll see is the fake grille right here. And obviously it is an electric vehicle. It does not need cooling where the engine radiator would be on a gasoline powered vehicle. So that is a false grille there. But again, I think Ford wanted to stay true to that F-150 look. You will, however, notice that there is a functional grille down here with louvers and a heat exchanger, and that's to cool the battery. Now, the biggest difference between the F-150 Lightning and the regular F-150 internal combustion engine is the absence of an engine. Now, Ford has taken advantage of this space and they've created what is called a frunk. Now, you can open the frunk by your key fob, 2 presses of the actual key fob, and the frunk will beep and it opens automatically. And you'll see it opens. And also, if you didn't have your key fob, you can open or close it with a button there. Now the frunk is pretty interesting. It is the largest frunk in any of the trucks, coming in at 14.1 cubic feet of storage. It has lots of little features here. There's a light, so that's pretty cool. It illuminates it pretty nicely after dark. You have some outlets here for plug-ins to charge things, and also USB and a USB-C. You have some tie downs for grocery bags if you want to put some plastic bags, and there's also some tie downs on the floor. And this is pretty interesting. The frunk has a cubby hole, which sort of reminds me of a Honda Ridgeline in their bed of their truck, but it's a space where you can store your plug-in charger here, or it even has a drain, and you could fill this with ice and put cool drinks for a tailgating session, or if the kids were at a soccer game and you wanted to have cold drinks. So that's pretty cool. Up here it tells the weight limits. It's 400 pounds for the storage limit, and also 400 liters of liquid that can be stored in there. So that is pretty cool. Now this is the charger that comes immediately with the F-150. It's made to plug into a 120 outlet, and this plugs into the side of the truck. This is the slow charger. The fast charger will be shipped to your house after you buy the vehicle, and that has to be installed in your home with an electrician. Closing the frunk can be accomplished by this button here or a keypad, and it gives you the warning tone, and it slowly closes. So moving on down, you see one of the many cameras. You see your distance sensors in the button across the front bottom of the grille, and you have some tow hooks coming around. Pretty good look, clean look. I'm not so sure I like the look of those LED lights during the day. They have that kind of that strange color to them, but at night they look pretty slick, I gotta admit. Coming back down, you'll see a fake charging port here. It's just to maintain symmetric proportions on the other side. So this one does not open up, but that is where the charging port is on the other side. Okay, moving on down, massive 22-inch tires and rims, 22 50 sidewalls. They are general grabber series, made for electric vehicles due to the extra weight. And it comes with a unique kind of almost looks like a tap out of a tap and die set. Interesting choice for the rims. Not sure if I love them, but I don't hate them. Look pretty nice. Again, you have your side mirrors with LED lights. And one thing about the F-150 that is really cool that I wish the other ones, especially the GMC, had, they have zone lighting. So when you walk up to the vehicle at night, if the key fob is in your pocket, each zone on the truck will light up in the area that you're at. So for example, if I walk up to the truck and I'm in this area, these lights here will illuminate this area here, and it's the same thing with the back. So that is pretty neat and pretty ingenious by the Ford engineers. Moving to the back of the truck, one thing that's interesting, the Platinum version here does not have retractable running boards, and that's something that kind of shocked me a little bit at this price point. Normally you have the running boards that tuck up into the truck when the doors are shut, but this one is stationary. On the back, however, you do see that LED light, and that's part of that zone lighting I was talking about earlier. If you come to this section of the truck with a key fob in your pocket, it will light up. Coming around to the back of the truck, you see a Lightning logo. That's pretty cool. It's black and blue, followed by an interesting tail light section, a sealed tail light. And this is a little bit different than the regular F-150, the non-electrified version. You see the little F-150 logo inside, and this light bar actually extends across the back of the tailgate. And in keeping with the theme of the other F-150, you see the embossed set of F-150 across, camera in the tailgate, and this is a power up and down. So you just press the button, or you can do it on the key fob, and the tailgate lowers. Ford has their classic step, and this is their version. It's effective. It's not as slick as GM. However, it's effective. You have your handle out there, and it provides a pretty easy way to get up into the bed. Now, one of the things interesting about this bed is the absence of a factory spray in bed liner. I would have expected, again, at this price point, to have all the bells and whistles, and at nearly 100 grand, the absence of a bed liner is kind of, that's a foul in my opinion. But you come back around, you see the onboard power for Ford. This is pretty slick. You have your outlets here. That's a 240 outlet, 30 amp service, so you could run a welder, compressor of sort. You have your two 120s there, and also a 120 here. And this one is stating 2.4 kilowatts, and this one's a 7.2 kilowatt. So not real sure about the output on these, but Ford likes to use this as an example that this is a work truck, and that it can be used to do some things that some of the trade people might use it for. Have your light switch there. I like that. I wish GM would have done that with theirs from the factory, but all in all, pretty functional. You do have a insert here on the back, can be used as a workbench. You have your nice little tape measure on the side if you want to use that for cutting or marking. One thing the F-150 has that some of the other trucks don't have is you have an area here where you can clamp a piece of wood. You can put a C-clamp on there and clamp something down on each one of these sides right over here. That's a nice little touch. You can put a clamp down in case you're cutting or marking something you don't want it to move. So that's pretty cool. Tailgate goes up, you just press the button, and it's an automatic tailgate, and it goes up to the top. So pretty nice. All right, coming back to the side, you got your blind spot monitoring. Again, a good looking truck. This black agate metallic paint is very nice. Don't really see any flaws, looks sharp. Got your keyless entry or your keypad right there. And again, cameras galore. Here's the charging port. You open it by pushing it down, comes out, and it exposes the plug. Down here, this will light up and show you your progress in charging. So pretty basic indeed. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. Starting out of the back seat, real nice materials. They definitely didn't skimp here. This is where you really start to see this luxury truck segment. You have some nice contrasting stitching followed by some piping, and I really like this Alcantara or the suede insert in the door panel. And then there's some wood type paneling here. Doesn't feel like real wood. It's probably faux wood, but a good look. Good look indeed. On the top, you have a leather wrapped surface, so that is nice. You have your typical plastics as you get lower, and Ford is no exception. GM does the same thing, and also Ram does as well. You have a Bang & Olufsen 18 speaker stereo, premium sound, sounds really good. I think the Bang & Olufsen rivals even the Harman Kardon, which in my opinion is the best factory stereo on the market. Nice leather stitching and leather surfaces in the rear. You can see the contrast stitching, perforated seat, and also that more of that Alcantara or that suede insert with the logo platinum badging here. Smaller headrest, but again, very nice, very plush interior. Of course, you have your cup holders there and a rear slider, which I don't like the size. I wish that Ford and GM and Ram would go the way of your Japanese manufacturers and do a bigger rear window that would go down like the Toyotas, but till then, we'll just have to wait, I guess. These are heated surfaces. You got your seat heat switch right there. You have a charging port, USB and USB-C, and a 120 adapter as well. And then there is a 12-volt cigarette lighter type. Vents here, no controls, but nice materials all the way through. Map holders. Again, nice two-tone leather here and feels plush. Nice grab handle here. I would have liked to see that wrapped, but nonetheless, it looks good. Moving up top, you don't have a suede headliner, but it is a little bit of a soft material and it looks good. And there's that panel roof, which I really like with the power sunshade as well. Here in the back of the F-150, it's not a bad place to be. You can see some pretty generous leg room. I have plenty of room here before my knees hit the back of the front seat. It feels comfortable, good seating position, and as you can see, ample headroom, and this panoramic sunroof gives me the feeling of a little bit more space as well. Nice carpeting going across, and you see the stamped platinum logo and the contrast stitching. Definitely a nice look to the truck. Under seat storage is pretty simple. You just hold the seat up, and Ford has a pretty cool box under here that folds down, but it allows you some storage to segregate your different types of materials. To flatten this, you pull these tabs, and then these will fold inward. I'm not going to do it, but these will fold inward and this thing will fold flat. So it'll give you the entire flat surface coming across the back of the bed so you can store other items. That's pretty cool. I like that and very functional. Moving around to the front, to the driver's seat, again, really nice materials on these door panels. You see from the top, nice leather trim surface, a little more of that wood with that unique grain, and some plastics and some lacquer type finishes. And of course, you do have the plastic. I would like to see a little bit heavier duty plastic, but you know, Ford is definitely not the only one. But nice speaker grills with that Bang & Olufsen speaker. And you have nice door sills here that tell everyone you spent a bunch of money and you bought a platinum. Coming up onto the dash, again, real nice materials, this contrast stitching, leather wrapped surfaces, and you have an instrument cluster on this side. You have the lights on each one of your mirrors controlled right there. You can open the frunk and drop the tailgate there, and all your headlight buttons there, interior lights, and of course an emergency electronic emergency brake, and then the back bed lamp. You got adjustable pedals up and forward. That's pretty nice. Of course, you have an adjustable steering wheel up and out, and also telescopes, and that is really nice. Again, platinum badging, and you have speakers in the headrest. You see the little B&O for Bang & Olufsen logo there. Nice touch, and you have that suede insert. Very nice seats. They're not massaging, kind of surprising also, but still lots of support, and they're really nice. Huge 15.5-inch screen in the middle. I like how they have this big bezel that controls everything right there. I'm not sure I like the orientation of this mega screen. It kind of takes cues from the Ram, where they do it in a portrait type orientation. I would have preferred to see a landscape orientation, kind of like GMC and Chevrolet and even Toyota do with their massive screen. Glass instrument cluster, fully digital. Looks really nice. Kind of got a brushed surface over here, and your dual glove boxes. One's up there and the one down there. Okay, moving over this side, you do have a trailer brake controller and your Pro Trailer switch here. Right here you have a wireless charging pad with a couple of USB-C and USB outlets in there. and that comes back there, finished with nice wood right there. This is pretty cool though, I have to admit. On your F-150s, they really fancy this a work truck, so they try to make use of all the spaces. Well, you have your shift knob here, but you can press this and your shift knob will retract, and then the center console will open up and create a flat space for you to work. And that is actually pretty versatile and pretty cool. And to flip this back up, you can open it up and you see a very generous storage underneath with a divider up here. And you see a USB and USB-C charging port under there. But one thing that's missing, a 120 outlet. I guess you really don't need one, but a lot of the other manufacturers have that in their trucks. Your rear view mirror is a typical glass rear view mirror. It's not like some of the other offerings from General Motors, which you have a digital rear view mirror. I really like that feature with the digital rear view mirror. I think that was something that all manufacturers should move to. Sunglass holder here. Very much classic F-150. Now, driving the F-150 Lightning is virtually the same as driving its ICE counterpart. You just need to ensure the key is in the vicinity of the steering column. And once you have that, you place your foot on the brake and then press that start-stop button, and the truck will come to life. As you can see here, the shift knob is in its fully retracted position. So if that's the case, you need to press that button and raise the shift knob, which it does pretty quick. And then go ahead and shift to drive. And once you're clear, you can move out and off you go. Now out here on the road, this is where the truck really shines. It has four-wheel independent suspension, sound insulating glass, and of course that lack of engine noise really treats the occupants to a first-class voyage. Visibility is excellent, and at 156 inches from front to back, the F-150 is a big truck, but somehow the Ford engineers have made it feel smaller than it really is, and it really handles and drives well, and that's a good thing. The truck is really quiet, and wind noise tends to pick up around 45 miles per hour, but it's not too intrusive and is really on par with other luxury trucks. But if you do miss that sound of a V8, you can pipe in fake engine noise over the truck's 18-speaker Bang & Olufsen premium stereo. The truck also gives you an option to pipe in this jet propulsion sound. It's kind of hokey, kind of sci-fi, but it makes it kind of fun. When the truck accelerates, you can hear that whine or that whistle. The stereo does sound good though, by the way, and the large touchscreen is pretty responsive and it's pretty fast. On the downside, the AC does struggle to cool the cab, and the scary thing is it's December. I'd hate to be in this cabin in August. So with a curb weight of nearly 7,000 pounds, this truck is definitely heavy, but it feels nimble thanks to these two electric motors. And with that 131 kilowatt hour extended range battery, this thing pumps out an impressive 580 horsepower and a face-melting 775 pound-feet of torque. And trips to 60 come in about 4 seconds. That lightning and straight line acceleration is just brutal. Obviously, trips to Home Depot will definitely be a bit more fun in the F-150 Lightning. Once you mash that accelerator, it feels like an F-16 fighter jet on takeoff, although it doesn't have that sound of an afterburner. And yes, I have personally experienced both of those, and it does feel like that. But if you want to put this truck to work in platinum trim like I'm driving here, you'll have an impressive 1,656 pounds of payload capacity for that 5.5-foot bed. And you can tow a respectable 8,600 pounds, which is on the lower side of the segment. But nonetheless, it'll offer you some decent towable options. But take note, though, if you do either of those things with this truck, your 300-mile advertised range will be significantly reduced. And if you throw colder weather into the mix while towing a trailer, you might very well be searching for an outlet to plug this truck into before you even pass that 100-mile mark, which is an instant showstopper for most truck people. Now, on the four-wheel drive side of things, it comes with a locking rear differential, and it definitely adds to its four-wheel drive cred. I just don't know how comfortable I would be straying too far off the beaten path with this EV, given its limited range and also expensive price tag. Now, while driving, I did try and engage Blue Cruise. That's Ford's rendition of Level 2 autonomous driving systems, and it's similar to GM's Super Cruise. But in my case, I fumbled around for about 10 minutes, and I really couldn't get a definite uh, answer on whether it was engaged or not. It would not allow me to take my hands off the steering wheel for more than a couple seconds. So again, to be fair, I'm not even sure if it was engaged. If it did warn me a few times though to keep my eyes looking forward, so maybe it was engaged. But bottom line, if that's Ford's answer to Super Cruise, just save your money and forego that option. On a side note, if you are a Lightning owner, please feel free to comment and share your experience with Blue Cruise and let everybody know if it's worth the money. Now, driving the Lightning is definitely pleasant and the ride is incredibly smooth, but aside from blistering acceleration, however, I just felt a bit underwhelmed with this entire package. I mean, at $94,000, who's this truck's future owner? I mean, it certainly looks like an F-150. The interior is pretty nice, and the truck does things pretty well. But clocking in at nearly 100 grand, pretty nice and pretty well, isn't going to cut it. Not not when I can spend less than half that amount by buying an entry-level XLT gas burner without the hassle of installing an expensive home charger and avoiding the range anxiety and issues altogether. Even if you really want an EV and have to have an EV truck, the Pro model is roughly $45,000 cheaper. So it just really leaves me scratching my head. Who is the Platinum courting? So I got a few hours to spend with the F-150 Lightning Platinum. And I was going to cut a video, but then I decided to just wait a few hours till I got home. So as you can see, I'm back in my 2024 GMC Denali, and I wanted to process my thoughts so that I could bring them to you in a very fair and objective way to Ford. First and foremost, I love the F-150. I am a big F-150 fan. I think Ford has done some great things with the F-150. It's definitely a truck for everybody. So when the EV came out, the F-150 Lightning a couple of years ago, a lot of fanfare, a lot of hype. I mean, they 200,000 pre-orders. I mean, they were blowing and going. I was excited. I am not an EV fan. I don't think that EVs are ready for prime time right now. I think they have potential, but I am not an EV fan. So let's just put that out there right there. But I also need to be objective because if I'm going to bring you a review, I need to put that aside. So putting everything aside, what did I think of the F-150 Lightning Platinum? Well, there was definitely some good. There was a lot of and there were a few, thumbs down, bad things. So let's talk about the good first. The good, it's an F-150. What's not to like? I really like the frunk. I like what they did with that extra storage, put some outlets there. A lot of usability, a lot of versatility, and so that's good. Uh, the interior materials, the quality was good. There were some plastics on the door panels that I didn't like and some on the dash that I thought they could have done away with. That wasn't so good, but overall the materials were nice and it was definitely on the level of a luxury truck, although it was on the lower level of a luxury truck. GM and Ram are just nicer. They just have nicer interiors. And also the F-150 is a little dated right now. I felt like I was getting back into my 2015 F-150. Other than the big screen, not much has changed. I mean, the big screen and the instrument cluster being digital, there was a lot of carryover from many years of the F-150, the current version. So it's due for a refresh. I get that. The acceleration was phenomenal. The truck is very, very powerful. And it rode like a dream. I mean, just beautiful. The interior noise was really good, or actually really low, so that was nice. So That's the good. The meh, when you roll up on an F-150, you really can't tell it's a Lightning until you see those 2 or 3 cues, the light bar going across, the funny light bar in the front. It's a weird color. It's kind of this creamy white color. It looks nice at night, but during the day, I didn't like that. The back has these 3D kind of contoured taillights with F-150 badging inside. Those are kind of cool, but then it has a light bar going across the back. That, that's cool too. But other than that, it did not look like a $100,000 F-150 Lightning. And if you think about it, the F-150 Raptor, it's still an F-150, but it does not look like a normal F-150. It excites me. If that thing's 100 grand, I mean, I probably wouldn't pay 100 grand for it, but at least it differentiates itself. Now, maybe that wasn't the goal of Ford. Maybe they wanted to make it like a regular F-150. I mean, best-selling vehicle in the United States for like 200 years. So, I mean, maybe that was their goal. So, okay, mission accomplished, but you really didn't excite me. If you're asking me to pay that much money for a vehicle that I can buy its gas counterpart for a lot less, you failed on that regard. So really, really fast, ho-hum interior, kind of milk toast exterior styling. I mean, who's this truck made for? Who is Ford courting with a platinum F-150? I mean, let's face it, most of these trucks, these luxury trucks, never leave the pavement. But even so, this thing does a lot of things good, but nothing really, really well, other than going straight very, very fast. And what I mean by that is, yeah, I could tow 8,600 pounds. That's not very good for today's standards. It has a heck of a payload. I think like 1,600 and some pounds. That's really good. But you put in cold weather and hook up a trailer that's 6,000 pounds, you might not see 100 miles of range before you have to plug that thing back in. That's a showstopper for me. There is no way I'm paying that much money for an electric F-150 right now. So it begs the question again, who's this truck for? Who is Ford marketing this to? I can see argument for the lower version, the Pro version, F-150 Lightning. I think that comes in about 45,000. So if you have to have an EV and you just want something to go to Home Depot and maybe tow something short distances, okay, fine. You probably pay about 50 grand. It's a lot of money, but if that's what you need and that's what you want, that's fine. But Ford's asking people to pay upwards of $100,000. And before recently, there were dealers marking these things up 25, 30 grand. So, I mean, some people are paying like 125,000. I can't see it. So I'm going to say the F-150 Lightning is similar to the Ford Edsel. And for those of you who don't know what a Ford Edsel is, use Google and look up Ford Edsel. And I'll tell you the 30-second version here. The Ford Edsel was a car company, or actually it was a car that Ford designed, spent a ton of money, spent several years designing. It was going to be a whole different division of Ford. And they hyped this thing up. They got focus groups. And so when they finally built the car came in with this huge anticipation and this huge hype. And then everybody was ready. They flocked into dealerships, and then everybody hated it. And it was one of Ford's biggest failures of all time. So the F-150 Lightning has a lot of the same similarities. Now, the Edsel was pretty ugly, and that's one of the reasons it failed. The F-150 Lightning's not ugly by any stretch, but I couldn't help but notice the similarities. So maybe the F-150 Lightning is the Edsel for the 21st century. So that's my take. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. And would you pay $94,000 for the truck that I just showed you? So that's going to do it for the review. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I will say at the time of this recording right now, I have 385 115 subscribers, so yay, that's good. And I also have over 40,000 views on my first video of the exterior review of my GMC, my 2024 GMC Denali. So that is phenomenal. I can tell you one thing, all people who viewed the video and all subscribers, I will take none of you for granted. I do appreciate each and every one of you, and I will continue to make content that hopefully you come back and see and you can find some entertainment value. So with that said, I thank you. I thank Walt Massey Ford for letting me review the F-150. And I've got stuff coming down the pipe. So again, mash that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. And for now, this is the Major signing out. I'll see you soon. You take care of yourself.